The 2021 Visionary Principal of the Year elementary level and New Jersey recipient of the NAESP National Distinguished Principal Award is Annie Corley-Hand. Annie Corley-Hand is the principal of Mary K. McMillan Early Childhood Center in Berkeley Heights, where she looks for innovative ways for her students to create and learn.
A couple of years ago, we added, through a PTO grant, I had a big STEM initiative, and we bought Dash and Dot robots for the classrooms, and we bought all these STEAM materials, and we created maker spaces in our classrooms. And when left to their own devices, kids are pretty amazing at creating things. I had done a lot of work, watched a lot of videos and webinars and on STEM, and just thinking, this is a great thing that can tap into our science program.
So we had the iPads and the robots, and they were coding the robots to move, and it was, problem solving, but math, and then we tied it into writing, and they wrote how-to books on how to move the robot.
One of the science lessons was create, on sound and vibration. So kids were creating instruments. They had all these materials in their maker spaces in their classrooms. So they had to create an instrument that made, this is just an example of one of these activities, that created two different sounds.
Students are not sitting at their desks. They're young children. They need to move around. She has really instituted a program where the children are up and they're moving and they're going from station to station, and they're supported when they need to be supported, and they're independent when it benefits them to be independent.
We want kids to be problem solvers. And I think too often we just have kids solving problems, on a piece of paper that's in front of them, rather than having them to work through the problem-solving piece.
In addition to the academic needs of her students, Annie knows the importance of meeting their social-emotional needs as well.
Right now, the social-emotional needs of both kids and teachers are really paramount. And, it's almost everything else is secondary. We go back to Maslow, it's very basic. If we're not meeting those emotional needs, none of us can move forward. So I think that is really our focus, or my focus for this school year, is really on the needs of teachers and students.
I think that Annie sets the tone and the standard for how staff interact with children, parents interact with children, and how children interact with each other.
The school is really about embracing developmentally appropriate practice for kids. We have worked really hard at reminding ourselves that yes, people have higher expectations, Common Core standards have higher expectations for kids, but a 5-year-old is still a 5-year-old, and a 6-year-old is still a 6-year-old, and we have to treat them as such. So we work really hard at providing a program that is, yes, academically rigorous, but also mindful of the way kids learn best.
She doesn't just push for us to move them forward academically. It's all about social, emotional, behavioral needs as well. And she makes that very obvious in the culture of our school.
One of the ways she addressed the climate in her school was bringing in her Labradoodle Timber as the school's comfort dog.
I did have some reservations when Mrs. Corley had this idea that we were going to bring a dog into the school with our students, and I couldn't have been more wrong.
She's great with the kids. She'll sit on the floor in the morning during arrival and let the kids come and pet the dog, and she'll just hang out and talk to them.
I learned so much about them, just this morning. Whose dog went missing, somebody's frog died, a mom's sick, a grandmother's really ill. You learn all this stuff because I'm sitting there with the dog, having conversations with kids. He is literally top dog. You walk around and you can ask kids what my job is, and probably 75% of them will tell you it's to take care of the school dog.
The things that I've witnessed, with the dog working with students and just welcoming students even this morning creates that positive culture.
The feedback from parents is so positive. I mean, I had a little girl cried every day, and I just remember the dad saying, go see the puppy, just to get them in the door. And so that's really where he's been really helpful too.
And it's not just Timber the kids love, it's Mrs. Corley.
They adore her. She really is, she's not just an instructional leader, but she has a real maternal way with all of the children in this building, and I think every one of them knows that she really cares about them.
She's a very caring person, and she really looks out for her staff and students as well.
I just think she is such a professional, polished, passionate educator who is tireless in her work to make this school as good as it can be.